Hello, everybody. This is Brother Ro from Financial Empowerment, and today I'm coming to you with another video. I want to encourage you today to invest in big companies. Not because they're big necessarily mean that they're great companies, but I invested in the top 5 companies. It is called the Big Five, which is Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, and Facebook. I sold my shares out of Amazon and Google. Mistake. All right. Now, I believe in buying or investing in established companies. Let's say I just got into the market. I don't know what to invest in. Well, in the SPY, which is the Standard & Poor 500, have the top 500 companies in the world. You can't go wrong by investing in the SPY. I have personally put $100 every 2 weeks in the SPY and $100 every 2 weeks in the QQQ. That's the top 100 tech stock, because tech is not going anywhere. And also in the best 500 company, which is the SPY. I will do this for 5 years. For 5 years, I'm putting $100 in every 2 weeks in the QQQ and the SPY. That's like $13,000 a piece for the next 5 years, which is $26,000. That will be, when I'm ready, it will be close to probably $35,000, $40,000. Solid, safe investments. Now, I started investing in individual stocks. I always had an IRA and a 401k, but in individual stocks last year in March when the pandemic hit. All right. Let's see if you are invested in the top 5 companies that I mentioned, what you would have been sitting on now, depending on how much you invested in them. You cannot afford not to invest. You must invest. You have to invest. And I'm saying this to young folks. You should invest. And I invested by downloading the Robinhood, and my first deposit was $10. Of course, afterwards I put 500, 1,000, 5,000, and I keep investing. And now my portfolio is over 100,000. But let me tell you something. Yesterday, which was the 22nd of June, 2021, what happened is that Microsoft joined the elite and loan company in Apple to reach the $2 trillion mark. That was a milestone and spectacular. You know, in terms of the top 10 countries in terms of GDP, which is gross domestic product, America is number 1 with over 20 trillion. China, number 2 with over 13 trillion. And number 3 is Japan, which is close to 5 trillion. Well, if you combine Apple and Microsoft, the total market value, they would be number 4 in the world in terms of GDP. They will be right behind Japan and ahead of Germany. Well, Apple by itself would have had a greater domestic product than Italy, than Brazil, than Canada. Right now, Microsoft value is more than Brazil and Canada. Okay, that's enough numbers in terms of that. But Microsoft is a great company. And so if you invest in those companies during the pandemic, you would have been sitting pretty good right now. So let me go into my portfolio and I will take a look quickly at what I'm doing. But before I do that, let's look at Apple. See, the market cap of Apple is $2.232 trillion. And Microsoft is just it hit that mark yesterday when the stock was trading for $266 plus, but now it dropped just a little bit under the $2 trillion mark. Now, out of these 5 companies, which is the Big Five, Facebook is close to $1 trillion, and they're just about 35 or 34 billion short of reaching that $1 trillion cap. Okay? So if you invest in these companies during the pandemic in the month of March, let's see what would have happened now. Okay, let's go to my portfolio. I'm $110,917. I'm up like $1,791 for the day. And since I started investing a little over a year ago, I'm up 34,000 plus. I was way up more than that, but you know, the market can be volatile in terms of up and down. Now, what I want to do is just look at two of the stocks that I invested in out of the big five. And Microsoft, we see here that Microsoft is down today, but I bought at an average cost of 186 and I have 20 shares. And by the way, I'm up 42%. And also with Microsoft, they pay a dividend, which is 0.82 every 3 months. All right. And the dividend is reinvested. So if I were to cash out now, I could leave with $5,367.60, making a profit of $1,594. So Microsoft, what it was trading for, let's look at, let's say in the month of March, it was trading at 137. So you buy 100 shares of Microsoft at 13, it would have been close to $14,000. You would have been sitting pretty right now. Okay, so I bought 20 shares. All right. Let's move on to Facebook. Facebook is another, I bought 10 shares of Facebook. And today Facebook is at an all-time high. And my average cost was $200. I bought 10 shares of Facebook. Facebook don't give a dividend. In the top, in the big five, only Microsoft and Apple that gives a dividend. Okay, but Facebook is a tremendous growth stock. So I'm up $141 on a stock. Can you imagine I had 1,000 shares or 100 shares? Would have been sitting pretty good. So right now I'm up $1,408.61, which is 69.93%. And that's beautiful. So let's look at in the fall, in the month of March. Let's look at in the month of March and see where the stocks were sitting. Okay. Now let's look here. When I first bought Facebook, I bought 2 shares at $178.50 a share. That's on March 6th. Then on the 9th, I said, no, this is too good to be true. It dropped. So I bought another 2 shares at $171. Then 2 days later, I bought another share at $170. So I had 5 shares of Facebook. New investor, but investing in quality stocks. Then in the month of March 12th, it went to $157. I scoop up another share. So altogether, I bought 10 shares, which value at average of $200 a share. So I'm sitting at 69%. You know, the bank give you 0.5%. So it's a joke. All right. And with Apple, I do have 100 shares of Apple. And Apple been pretty flat. Apple been pretty flat. And the analysts are saying that Apple is about to break out. At the end of the year, Apple could be sitting at $150, $160 a share. So I have average of $124, and I have 100 shares. 0.9. It's going to be soon 101 because I reinvest my what you call DRIP, my dividend recurring investments. Okay, so that's what it looked like. I'm up $983 on Apple, just 7.84% over the year. Remember, Apple split about 4 times, and buying Apple in March of last year, I think it was going for like $50-something a share. Okay, well, this is Brother Rowe, and I want to encourage you to invest, and don't forget to subscribe. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, And I want to let you know I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you my journey. And I want to encourage you to invest in, listen, sometimes we invest in cheap stocks, not because it's cheap, it means it's a good stock. You know, sometimes these penny stocks, you might be lucky to catch a IPO when they go public. But for the most part, if you invest in quality stocks, it will pay off at the end of the day. I live in New York, and there's Brooklyn, and real estate is really high in the five boroughs. But you invest in Manhattan, my goodness, almost everything there is $1 million. So you invest in quality, even though it's a bit expensive, and in the end, it pays off. Okay. All right. So thank you for your support and for showing me some love. And yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm sitting at 422 subscribers. I started this channel at 61 years old, didn't know how to upload a video, and now I'm doing a little bit of OBS and so forth. So, hey, show me some love, hit the subscribe, smash the like, and I will talk to you in the next video. Have a blessed day, and stay safe, and focus forward. Bye now.